as Paul finds himself among the pagans, he spies the different statues to the various gods of their needs, and he sees in the midst of them an altar inscribed to an unknown God. And among the many altars, this altar stands out for him because this God is not unknown to Paul. For the unknown God of the pagans is the one true God of Paul. Paul who came to conversion, Paul who came to understanding through the Spirit of who this God is for him, for us, for humanity. And he goes on to help the pagans understand who this God is, what this God is about. And for it is in this God that we live and move and have our being. It is this God who is known to us, not just known by us, or who's known by us, but also known to us if we indeed strive to live and move and find ourselves in the presence of that God. And that takes work. That takes work on our part. That takes an effort to really get to know God in the way that he deserves to be known. So he goes from being an unknown God. And even for many believers, I dare say, that God, there's a level of unknowing. Even for the deepest of believers, there's a level of unknowing, because there's only so much in our limited scope of knowledge, of understanding, of wisdom, that we can truly know God. We can never fully know God, and we will never fully know God until we are truly in his presence, in the fullness of his presence in the kingdom. But Paul, along with Silas and Timothy, continue to proclaim this truth, and the people are drawn in by this mystery. They're taken in by this mystery to want more. They kind of something stirs within them, and that is, of course, we know to be the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit at work in their lives, whether they realize it or not. And so often in our lives, the Holy Spirit is at work in ways that we cannot fathom, in ways that we have a hard time understanding and really wrapping our head around. Even the idea of the fact that we have a God who is like us in all things but sin, who came to us in a way in his humanity to be like us in all things but sin, but who also is divine and leads us to all knowledge and all truth and all understanding. And as Paul leaves, some join him and became believers. And many others will come to know God through Paul, through his works. And many people, please God, will come to know God through our works, through our life, through our understanding of God and our sharing of God. And we, like Paul, must be bold in our sharing of God. We must be unflinching and unfailing in our knowledge of God and our sharing of God and our desire to share God with others. And that comes through trust in the Holy Spirit. Trust that the Holy Spirit is at work in us. Trust that that Holy Spirit given to us at baptism, fostered throughout our lives, sealed upon us at confirmation, and working within us, working in and through us, giving us the words to say and the way to say them, to convert mind and heart, to bring others to a knowledge of the truth, to a knowledge of who God is for us. And this knowing, which is at one level intellectual, there is to know about something, but then there is to truly know something that goes beyond the intellectual, that goes beyond the theoretical, that moves into the practical, the actual, and the living out of this knowledge. And when we incorporate this knowledge into our lives, we do so trusting that it is God working in and with and through us. And as a people of faith, when we allow God to work through us, our lives are transformed, the people around us are transformed, our world is transformed, and our worldview is transformed because we see things differently. After Paul speaks to the pagans, their worldview has changed because this is no longer an unknown God to them. It has become known to them through his teaching, through his preaching, through his ministry. And others can come to know God through us as well, in our words, in our deeds, in the way we carry ourselves, in the way we speak about God, and we speak to others about God. As a people of faith, we are given a charge by virtue of our baptism to go out to all the world and proclaim the good news, to preach and teach to all corners of the world, wherever that may be. It may not extend any further to our apartment building or to our neighborhood or even to our own families. But we must be unafraid and unambiguous when it comes to sharing the truth of the gospel. We must be bold in our proclamation to recognize in ourselves God working and working in and through us to others and for others' benefit. May we as a people of faith have the courage to say yes to God time and time again, day in and day out, in season and out of season, whether convenient or inconvenient. And when we are given that charge to share the truth of the gospel, let us do so boldly, proclaiming God's truth and love, his victory over sin and death, the one who has won for us newness of life.